Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
An awesome and amazing afternoon to all our learners, teachers, parents. I know po, everyone is excited. So once again, good afternoon Philippines or wherever you are in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao or nasa ibang bansa man kayo. Akin po kayong sasamahan niyo po ako ngayon this afternoon. So with that, I welcome everyone sa ating ETUlay online tutorial. So, I know excited na po tayo, no? So, this time, nasa, ano na po tayo? Week 7 ng ating quarter 4. And live po tayo sa ating Facebook accounts, sa DepEd Educational Unit, DepEd tayo, at kahit sa ating YouTube channel, dyan sa DepEd Educational Unit at DepEd TV. So every Tuesday, I will be with you teaching English 8. That's from 2:20 in the afternoon until 3 p.m. So I'm Tutor Ruby and I will be with you teaching English 8, quarter 4, week 7. So nasa week 7 na po tayo. So few days left. The school year 2020-2021 will be completed. So yung mga completers natin o yung gagraduate this school year, advance congratulations to all of you. All right. So our topic for this afternoon is about on how to develop paragraph for each text type. So we will be learning this competency as we run through the session. All right. So I would like to say thank you sa ating taga-Edtech unit, lalo na sa aking director at syempre sa ating ETUlay online tutorial family. So, akong handa na ang lahat. If you're ready to learn with me in this lesson for our English 8, ayan, bumati kayo dyan, pakilagay sa ating comment section. Right there, your name, of course, your school. You can also include kung student ka, you can include your teacher's name. And you can also put your section. And if you're a teacher naman, you can also write your name and your school. All right. Then, if you're there, listening, you can also send a hashtag. Ano ba yung magiging hashtag natin this afternoon? Okay. So, pakilagay na dyan yung hashtag uh, paragraph for text type. Ayan. This is our topic this afternoon. Again, how to develop a paragraph for text type. So, yun yung magiging hashtag natin this afternoon, my dearest learners. Ayan, paragraph for text type. So, since ready na ang lahat, let's have this one. So, we will be guided with this objective. Okay, so at the end of the session, you will be able to write paragraph that illustrate each type. As we all know, there are different types of paragraph. We have narrative literature, we have expository, explanatory, factual, and personal recount, and even persuasive and argumentative. Ayan. So, meron tayong different text type. So, with that, we will get to know first what is a text. Of course, it's so hard to write a paragraph if we don't even know what a text is. Of course, a paragraph is made up of sentences, right? Okay, so let's have this one. What do you mean by text? Uh, my dearest grade 8 learners, when you talk about text, it's a piece of writing that you read or create. So, yes, there is a written text, a manuscript, a printed one, and there's also a digitized text. So, the type of a text depend on their purpose, structure, and language features. So it depends on how the writer write his or her write up. So these texts are written for a variety of purposes. Okay, so using different forms and standards of composition. So, in a while, you will get to know more about the different types of text. What is the description of its text type? And of course, what are examples of this text type that you will be learning in a while? So, these forms of writing are known as text types. Yes, that's our main focus this afternoon. My dearest grade 8 learners, okay? It's all about text types. Now, remember that the text types refer to the meaning, and they should not be confused with writing. Okay? We will be focusing on the meaning. So, there are materials that is composed of text type. So, there are different formats for that. So, example for a format, okay, a book, an article, it could be a letter, yes, a report, an essay, or any kind of format, writing format, or any kind of material like newspaper. It's a kind of text type, okay, wherein we can learn some information in reading it. So, what are text types? So, we need to learn it specifically, all right, especially the types of text types. Text, I mean. So, here, first text type, we call it narrative text. Okay, I will enumerate first the text types. Later, we will get to know better this text type. So first, narrative text. Letter B, expository text. Letter C, factual text. Letter D, explanatory text. Letter E, personal recount. Letter F, persuasive text. And letter G, argumentative text. So there are 7 text types that we will be learning this afternoon. Yes, I hope everyone is excited and getting to know this one. Okay, so again, we will be learning this lesson uh, as part of the fourth quarter, specifically for week 7. Okay, now what is a narrative text? All right, so when we talk about narrative text, it entertains or inform readers by telling a story. So if you can read storybooks, yes, that book is an example of a narrative text. Or others love to read novels. Okay, so those novels is an example of a narrative text. There are young people this time wherein they love to read stories in Wattpad. So stories that can be found in Wattpad is an example of narrative text. And it has to do with real world events and time characterized by a sequencing of events. So since it's narrative, so it's like telling a story. It's like uh, giving emphasis on the events, sequencing of events. All right, so there's uh, characters involved, there's allocation, and of course, there at time. So we call that setting. So there are elements of the story enclosed in a narrative text. And basically, it has to do with the real world events. Not necessarily that it's a real story, but it is patterned with our real life situation. And this narrative text is very popular, very common. Okay, it's like a feature story also. Um, we have a lot of format for this narrative text. These days, digitized format is popular. Yes, wherein writers sell their write-ups online or they are working with a company that accepts, uh, you know, stories or especially this narrative one. So this is very common. And more with narrative text, it deals with the following. Take note. Okay. So first, um, first type of a narrative text is what we call as fiction. So when we talk about fiction, of course, it's not a real story. And these stories can be found in fairy tales, yes, novels, science fiction, horror or adventure stories, fables, myth, legend, and even more, or etc. So I know um, some learners are into reading fiction stories. So others love to read love stories, especially the young generation. Then kids, they love fairy tales as well. So those narrative text deals with the fiction type. Okay, but of course, there are also what we call as nonfiction. So when we talk about nonfiction, it's for real. Okay, it's for real events or it's really happening in real time setting or in real life situation. Example for this nonfiction narrative text are Newspaper. Oh, I know there are some who loves to read newspaper, and there are also different formats now in our newspaper, a hard copy or printed one, and it's also available online in a digitized format. And but still, it belongs to nonfiction. Okay. Of course, articles like feature articles, the one that you read in magazines. Okay, so it belongs to nonfiction. Then reports and historical writings. Okay, so again, narrative text deals with the fiction and non-fiction text, and that belongs to a narrative text type. More with narrative text, it deals also with literary text. Now, teacher to Ruby, what do you mean by literary text? So, literary text is a type of narrative that entertains. I like the word entertain because human as we are, we love to be entertained. And of course, it elicits an emotional responses by creative use of language and structure to create mental images. So, human as we are, we have an emotional aspect. And this narrative text, specifically the literary text, is a form of text type that wherein the purpose really is to entertain. Yes. And of course, we need relaxation. We need pleasure, especially after working hours. Okay. And second, it's letter B. We have this expository text. Okay. First text type that we had tackled was the narrative text. Now, second, it's expository text. Now, what do you mean by expository text? All right. So it identifies and characterizes phenomena. Second, true and deliberate expository text will focus on educating its reader. For example, nowadays it's so timely to talk about vaccination, specifically immunization for COVID 19, right? So there are some write ups about it wherein it educate the reader about the advantages and disadvantages if Filipino people will have that vaccination. All right. So it gets to the point quickly and efficiently. Now, examples of expository text are um, giving definitions, explications, summaries, essay, review, or comments, references, and letters to the editor. Okay. Now, expository structures can be classified into 5 categories. Okay, because it's good to tell people about the appropriate things or tips or best things that they will do because it can help them make their decision. Okay, so again, expository structure can be classified into 5 categories. Now, what are these 5 categories? Okay, number one, description. Second, procedure. Third, comparison. Fourth, cause and effect. And fifth, we have problem solution. All these are the classification for expository structure. Is it focus in giving description or is it focus in giving procedure or steps like these are the steps in cooking spaghetti, for example, or is the focus of the expository is for comparison, like comparing the different kinds of vaccine, like the Sinovac. They're going to compare the Sinovac, the COVID vaccine produced by Pfizer, or by Astra or any uh, type or any kind of or any brand of vaccine intended for COVID-19. So you can do that. That's part of expository. Or you will be focusing on the cause and effects. So why a certain community is suffering this kind of calamity. So uh, you can tell the cause. There are some possible causes why they are experiencing such things, and of course, you can also tell the possible effect. And of course, another classification in expository structure is the problem solution. Okay, so we all know that if there's a problem, there's always a solution. Yes, so that's what good in our community because there's no problem that will last long. But of course, problems can help us mature and it can help us also uh, get stronger in this life and this life's challenges. Okay, so how I wish uh, to interact with you. So I have here. Uh, I want to greet first. Hello, Christine Rose A. Reyes, grade 8, Santa Risita Night. From Santa Risita Night National High School. Wow. Hello, Christine. Good afternoon. So later, Christine, you will be participating in our learning activities. Okay, so as of this moment, I need to discuss first certain things about the text type. So I'm done discussing about the narrative type, text type. Second, expository. All right. Now, now let's have first the first type of expository structure. As you all know, there are five. Now, for description, the author describes a topic, characteristics, features, attributes, and etc. And there are some example for that. Yes. Then for procedure or sequence, the author lists different activities and their chronological order or enumerate items in numerical order. There's a certain procedure to do a task. There's a procedure in cooking a food, or there's a procedure in preparing a coffee. Well, it's something like that. Or there's a sequence or procedure in taking a test. Okay. And another one or classification of expository is comparison. So here the author explains how two or more objects, events, experiences are alike and or different. Of course, in comparing, you'll be focusing the similarities, on the other side, differences, or both of them have in common. You can also do that. Okay, for number four, for cause and effect, the author presents ideas, events, and time or facts as causes and the resulting effects in time. So I know there are writers who like to focus on this category. Another writer also is focusing on problem solution presentation. So the author describes a problem and gives one or more solution to the problem. And this can be also helpful to everyone who needs assistance in solving a certain problem. So we're now in number three. We're done with narrative text, expository text. Now we're now in letter C, factual text. Now, what do you mean by factual text? So this is to inform or instruct through the use of facts and information. Okay, so examples of factual text: landscape description, instruction on how to make or do something, recipe, instructions, and Manual. For example, you buy a new electric fan. Of course, when you buy an electric fan, especially in the mall, it's not yet assembled. So there's a manual or a set of instruction with it on the box so that when you get home, you can assemble that electric fan on your own. So by following the instruction, which is an example of factual text, you can set and you can use appropriately the electric fan that you buy in the mall. Yes. Or you have decided to buy a new smartphone. So, of course, there's also an instruction on how to operate that smartphone. And that's an example of factual text. Okay. Now, fourth. We are now in fourth text type. We're done with narrative text. Second, expository text. Third, factual text. And fourth, we're now in explanatory text. If you can remember, we need to tackle 7 text type, but we're now in number 4. Please listen, my dearest learners, because later I will be asking you, uh, what are the 7 text types, or enumerate the 7 text type. I hope you can answer. So we're now in number 4, explanatory text. So in this type, it explains how or why something happens. So basically from the root word explain, explanatory. So the root word is explain how or why something happened. So example, the life cycle of a frog. How does a frog change to an adult frog? So there's an explanation to that because there is a life cycle of a frog, how gears work, explain label diagram or flow chart, a science experiment, and its result. So just like my grade 5 and grade 6 learners, they need to explain their science investigatory project because I require them to have their science investigatory project through research, and of course you need to present an output, and before I will accept the output, of course they need to explain how the experiment goes and what's the result of your experiment, something like that. So that's an example of explanatory text. It's the number 4. So again, there are 7 text type, but first we have narrative text type. Second, we have expository. Third, we have factual text. Fourth, explanatory text. So we lock 3. Let's move to number 5, personal recount. Okay. Now, tutor Ruby, what do you mean by personal recount? So, personal recount simply retells an activity or event that happened in your own life, about my own life. That's why it's called personal recount. It's like writing an autobiography. Auto means self. Okay. Bio means life. So, autobiography, so it is known as personal recount. Okay, it retells an activity or event that happened in your own life. What have you done today? Or what did you do this morning? No, so you can tell, you can recount your personal experiences, your personal routine every morning. So you can do that. You can retell what you've done, where did you go, what have you eaten, who were the people that were with you during the morning time. So that's an example of personal recount. Say example, when you write a diaries, of course, when you write a diary, you are writing about your personal events. What happened to you? What did you feel? So it's like writing a journal. So again, that's an example of personal recount, writing a diary and a journal. Okay, it's good. What I like with this text type, the personal recount, is that you can get to know more about yourself, you can trace your activities, and you can also see the progress of your life. Okay, so we have tackled already the five text type. First, narrative text. Second, expository text. Third, factual text. Fourth, we have the explanatory text. And fifth, personal recount. Let's move to number six, or letter F. We have persuasive text. Not what do you mean by persuasive text? It is a factual text type that give a point of view. There's a point of view. You need to convince someone that, hey, this is what I believe, and this is what I have been experiencing. So you need to go with me. So persuasive text used to influence or persuade others. You want to tell them that they need to believe what you are saying, believe what you are doing, and they will do the same because based from your information, it's effective or it's working. That's why the writer will really influence you in giving the tips and best practices, something like that. So, in persuasive text, it gives reasons for a point of view to try and convince others of it. Yes. You want them to follow what you're doing, you want them to do what you have been doing. Okay, so you need to convince others. And to convince others, you need to give reasons for a point of view. And that's persuasive text. That's number six. Now, for the last text type. Okay. By the way, before I will move to the seventh text type, so an example of persuasive text is a team's argument for a debate. Yes. Mm. That is number seven, argumentative text. So what does it mean? It aims to change the reader's belief. For example, you're now decided. So as a grade 8 learners, you are decided to take STEM when you reach senior high school. You're already decided. But here comes a friend who argue with you that you better take the UMS, uh, you know, the UMS subjects instead of taking STEM. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. All right. So uh, you when you change the reader's belief, okay, your that kind of write up or that kind of writing or that kind of text is an argumentative. So they often contain negative qualities or characteristics of something or someone to try to persuade the readers that an object, product, idea is in some way better than others. Okay. If I were you, you will take a STEM courses when you reach your senior high school because blah 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 blah, something like that. Uh, Taking Hume strand is not appropriate at this time because blah 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 blah. So it's an example of an argumentative text. Okay. Then, when you able to change the reader's belief, oh, you are an effective writer. Okay. Now, argumentative text starts with a negation of a statement which attributes a quality or characteristics activity to something or someone. Examples. Okay. Let's take these examples of argumentative text. First, advertising text. Okay, if you watch television, you're always watching the advertisement of Jollibee, McDonald's. So, if you have seen that daily, of course, you will crave for the fried chicken. You'll crave for French fries, All right, and some other drinks that are available in McDonald's or Jollibee. I'm not endorsing them, but I'm just giving an example about advertising text because uh, they have their motto there. For example, for the banks uh, like BDO or BDO, they have the line there, finding ways, something like that. Uh, But with Metrobank, you are in good hands with Metrobank. So that's an advertising text, which try to persuade the readers that the product is somehow better than the others. So uh, readers, listeners of an advertisement can, will be influenced in how the text is presented. Okay. And again, it starts with the negation of a statement, which attributes a quality or characteristics, activities to something or someone. Okay, so, but this argumentative text is focusing and trying to persuade readers that a product is somehow better than others. So that's it. So again, there are seven text type that we have studied this afternoon. Let me enumerate again. First, we have narrative text. Second, we have expository. Third, factual. Fourth, we have the um, explanatory. Five, we have personal recount. Six, we have the other one, yeah, forget number six, persuasive text. And seven, the argumentative text. Right. Now we're now in learning task one. So what will you do? As we do our daily routine, we come across reading materials with various types of text, right? So identify the text type used in the following situation. So what you will do, there are only 5 numbers here in learning task one. Again, there are only 5. But I had presented 7 text type. Now, I will give you time um, to identify the correct text type in the given statement. Okay, we have here 5 numbers. Sentence number 1, reading a newspaper article in the morning. Number 2, writing a letter or email to a friend. Number 3, savoring a good novel at bedtime. 4, presenting the topic on photosynthesis. Fifth, making a brochure of cosmetic products. Okay, let me check who among you have participated in our comment section. Okay, but before that, let me read our viewers here. Okay, here with us this afternoon is Leslie Putis Bangoy. Good afternoon, watching live from Mako Heights Central Elementary School. Hello, hello, Leslie Putis. So Tutor Ruby is teaching live this afternoon from Mactan Island here in Lapu-Lapu City. So I'm here live at Science and Technology Education Center in the division of Lapu-Lapu City, Region 7. So we have here with us also Marijon Ripoilo. Good afternoon, watching from Palumok, Titay, division of Zamboanga, Sibugay. Wow, good to hear that you're with me. So now, my dearest learners, send your answer now. Okay, there are 5 items. All you have to do is to identify what text type is that. So let me enumerate how these are your choices. Please listen carefully. These are your choices. You need to analyze. Okay, you need to read properly the daily routine being written there in 5 numbers. Then, of course, you need to identify the specific type of text. Is it narrative text? Is it expository? Is it factual? Is it explanatory? Is it personal recount? Oh, what type? Christine, you need to write what specific type. You need to choose. Okay, you need to choose the following. Is it, okay, text type. So again, we are talking about text types, right? So let me have the following choices. Is it narrative? Is it narrative text? Okay. Is it um, expository? Okay, I'll give you time. Don't worry. Please analyze. Okay. Expository text. Is it factual? Oh, there are 7 choices, but we have only 5 numbers. Is it factual? Is it personal recount? Oh, is it explanatory? Okay. Or is it persuasive text? Or is it argumentative text? Okay, so uh, we have here the choices: narrative text, expository text, factual text, oh, or you can also choose personal recount, explanatory, persuasive text, or argumentative text. Okay, let's check your answer for number 1. Oh, sabi ni Christine, text daw yung number 2. So, yung number 1, types. Okay. But Christine, we need to identify what text type. Is it narrative, expository, factual, personal, explanatory, persuasive, or argumentative? Okay, let's check now for number 1. Okay. Now, for number 1, the daily routine is reading a newspaper article in the morning. Oh, I have explained that a while ago. When you read a newspaper, or the information in the newspaper is what type of text is that? And the correct answer for number 1 is factual. Very good. Yes, you are correct. It's factual. Anything that is written in a newspaper, as much as possible, everything there must be factual information. Okay, we have now the answer for number 1. Let us check sa ating mga learners. Okay, were you able to give the correct answer? Ayan, for number 1. The answer is factual. Now, moving on to number 2. Writing a letter or email to a friend. Writing a letter or email to a friend. Is it narrative, expository, explanatory, personal recount, persuasive, or argumentative? So when you write a letter or email to a friend, it's an expository. Yes, very good. Expository. Okay. Now, third, savoring a good novel at bedtime. Savoring a good novel at bedtime. So, what's the answer for number 3? For number 1, it's factual. Number 2, it's expository. How about in number 3? Okay, let's check it. Okay, go, go, go. Let's check your answer in number 3. Okay. All right. So for number 3, the answer for that is narrative. Very good. So novel is a kind of fiction. Fiction. Uh, so that's an example of narrative text type. Now for number 4, presenting the topic on photosynthesis. Presenting the topic on photosynthesis. So what kind of text type is that? Okay, let's check your answer. Yes, explanatory. Just like when you explain the life cycle of a frog, okay, there's an explanation to that, or how photosynthesis happen, or how a plant makes their own food, or how a tree makes their own food. So that's an explanatory text type. Now for number 5, making a brochure of cosmetic products. What is that? Oh, others are very creative. They can make their own magazine. They can make their own brochure. Oh, yeah, I see the answer now of Christine. Sabi ni Christine sa number 3, number 4, explanatory. Yes, you are correct, Christine. Then, ang sabi ni Christine, the answer for number 3 is narrative. Very good. You are correct. Wow, good job, Christine. How about for number 5? What's the answer in number 5? So the statement there is making a brochure of cosmetic products. Making a brochure of cosmetic products. So what kind of text type is that, Christine? Oh, how about Mary June? How about Leslie? How about Desiree? Oh, Desiree is here with us. Oh, she tagged Ma'am Sharon Agnes Principe. Maybe Ma'am Sharon is the teacher of Desiree. Okay. All right. Now for number 5, the statement is making a brochure of cosmetic products. So that text type is called persuasive. Yes. So if you are persuaded by the advertisement or the thing that you have read in the brochure, you will buy that product of cosmetic, or something that can make you young, or something that can make you prettier, or it can whiten your skin. So it's something like that. All right, moving on. We're done with learning task 1. Let's move to learning task 2. Now, let's read this article here. Now, read and compare the two texts below. Answer the questions that follow. So there are two texts. We have here text here in column A. We have also text in column B. So let me read first the text in column A. The school is right around the corner and tickets have just gone on sale. We are selling a limited number of tickets at a discount. So move fast and get yours while they are still available. This is going to be an event you will not want to miss. First off, the school fare is a great value when compared with other forms of entertainment. Also, your ticket purchase will help our school, and when you help the school, it helps the entire community. But that's not all. Every ticket you purchase enters you in a drawing to win fabulous prizes. And don't forget, you will have mountains of fun because there are acres and acres of great rides, fun games, and entertaining attractions. Spend time with your family and friends at our school fair. Buy your tickets now. Okay, that's the text in column A. How about in column B? Let me read. The school fair is right around the corner, and tickets have just gone on sale. Even though you may be busy, you'll still want to reserve just one day out of an entire year to relax and have fun with us. Even if you don't have much money, you don't have to worry. A school fair is a community event, and therefore, prices are kept low. Perhaps you are still not convinced. Maybe you feel you are too old for fairs or you just don't like them. Well, that's what my grandfather thought. But he came to last year's school fair and had this to say about it. I had the best time of my life. While it's true that you may be able to think of a reason not to come, I'm also sure that you can think of several reasons why you must come. We look forward to seeing you at the school fair. So that's the two text. It is presented in different ways, but there's a common topic, only one topic. Now, let's have learning task 2. The question number 1. What do the texts talk about in common? A. School fair. B. Field trip. C. School inauguration. Or D. Community program. Okay, choose the letter of the correct answer. Okay, read that. Ayan, the answer of Christine in number 5, persuasive text. Yes, you are correct. But now we are now in learning task 2. So what do the texts talk about in common? All right. Oh, Marijan answered. According to Marijan, it's letter A. According to Christine, it's letter D. But let's check the correct answer for number 1. What do the texts talk about in common? Yes, the answer is letter A. Very good. Okay, the answer is letter A. Okay. What do the texts talk about in common fair? The answer is school fair. That's the topic. School fair. Okay, let's move to the next number. Number 2. What is being offered in the announcements? A. Free items. B. Trip for two. C. Tickets for sale. Or D. Discounts on products. All right. Send your answer now. So we are now in number 2. Please don't forget to write the number and the letter of the correct answer. Okay. Again, don't forget to write the number and the letter of the correct answer. So we're now in number 2. Oh, according to Christine, letter C. What is being offered in the announcement? According to her, tickets for sale. Margin also answered letter C. So letter C, tickets for sale. Are the answers of Marjon and Christine are correct? Let's check. Okay, the correct answer is letter C. Wow, very good. Good job. Your answers are correct. So, what is being offered in the announcement? The answer is tickets for sale. Okay, let's move to number 3. The following are privileges that can be enjoyed during the school fair, except, okay, there's a word except. A, great rides. B, fun games. C, delicious meals. Or D, entertaining attractions. Okay, let's check your answer for number 3. Go, go, go. Let's check your answer. Don't forget to write the number. The number is number 3. Then write the letter of the correct answer. The following are privileges that can be enjoyed during the school fair, except, oh, what's the correct answer for that? Okay, let's go. The correct answer is letter C, delicious meals. Oh, if you will go to the fair, you can have delicious meals. Okay, so let's check who got the correct answer among our learners this afternoon. Oh no. Okay. All right. According to Mari June, the answer is letter C, and you are correct, Mari June. Good job. Okay. Now let's move to number 4. Okay. Question number 4. What is the purpose of both texts? There are 2 texts, right? Column A and column B. A, to tell a story that has happened to characters in a specific place and time. Or B, to give reasons for a point of view to try and convince others. C, to name the qualities of an object, a person, or a place. Or D, to present a series of instruction, tips, warnings, or useful information for the readers. Okay, let's check your answer for number 4. Okay, now. Oh, I have seen the answer of, yeah, Christine. According to Christine, it's explanatory. Oh no. Yeah, it's here. The answer of Mary June. It's letter B. To give reason for a point of view to try and convince others. For Christine, it's letter A. Okay, let's check. What's the correct answer here in number 4? Okay, what is the purpose of both texts? The answer is letter B. Very good. To give reasons for a point of view to try and convince others. Oh, you need to convince others to join the school fair. Now for last number, number 5. Which of the following is true about the type of text presented in the passages? A. Both passages are inviting people for a school fair. B. Passage A is trying to persuade the readers. C. Passage B sounds more logical and argumentative than a passage A. Or D. All of the above. Okay, let's check your answer. Okay, yes. Uh-huh. Okay, don't forget to write the number and the letter of the correct answer. Oh, according to Marijan, the answer in number 5 is letter A. Okay, it's letter A daw. Oh, Christine also answered letter D. Oh, which one is correct? Letter A or letter D? Okay, let's check it. The correct answer for number 5 is letter D, all of the above. Very good. It's letter D. So both passages are inviting people for a school fair. Passage A is trying to persuade the readers. Passage B sounds more logical and argumentative than passage A. So both are okay. That's why the answer is all of the above. So we're done with learning task 2. Now, let's move to learning task 3. Now, you need to write a brief, persuasive statement convincing people to follow health protocols as prevention against the spread of COVID-19. So, how will you write a brief, persuasive statement convincing people to follow health protocols as prevention against the spread of COVID-19? Be anyone who wants to answer, you can comment in the comment section. Or how will you do that? What persuasive statement will you write to convince people that they should follow health protocols? Oh, to prevent against the spread of COVID-19. So if you have no example, I can give mine. I can give my example. So here's my example. COVID-19 spreads primarily from person to person. Fighting this disease is our joint responsibility. Protect yourself and others by cleaning, washing your hands often, cough, or sneeze in your bent elbow. Not your hands, avoiding touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Limit social gatherings and time spent in crowded places. Avoid close contact with someone who is sick. Unclean and disinfect frequently touch objects and surfaces. So this is my example, or this is my brief persuasive statement convincing people to follow health protocols to prevent against the spread of COVID-19. How about you? You can write your own. Okay, so letter B. As people go through different stages in life and socialize with others, they encounter strangers who eventually turn into friends. Write a personal recount on how you encountered your best friend. So, in this activity, you will write your story, your journey, and how you encounter your best friend. I know you have best friends. Okay, but here's an example. Okay, let me read. Last year was the first time I had ever been the new kid at school. For the first 4 days, I was completely alone. I don't think I even spoke to a single person. Finally, at lunch on the fifth day, Karen Watson walked past her usual table and sat down next to me. Even though I was new, I had already figured out who Karen Watson was. She was popular. Pretty soon, all of Karen's friends were sitting there right next to me. I never became great friends with Karen, but after lunch that day, it seemed like all sorts of people were happy to be my friend. You cannot convince me that Karen did not know what she was doing. I have a great respect for her, and I learned a great deal about what it means to be a true leader. All right. So, what I'm reading right now is an example of a personal recount text type. Okay. So, it's like writing a journal or writing a diary when you talk about personal recount. So I hope you will also write your own personal recount as your way of developing your skill and answering or giving action to the competency about developing skills in writing text types. So, letter A, this is an example of persuasive statement. Letter B is an example of personal recount. So, yes, that's it. So, thank you so much, everyone, for being with me, for bearing with me this afternoon. So, once again, I'm Tutor Ruby, and I'm so glad, I'm so grateful to be part of this ETUlay online tutorial every Tuesday, teaching English 8. So, that's all for now. See you next week. Have a great day. Bye bye, everyone. God bless us all.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!